for this very important fixture. Well, Canterbury, who survived their own crushing loss to Manly in the last round, thanks solely to the South's defeat at Balmain, are here today. Like all sides, the casualty list for Canterbury is fairly extensive in 79, but allowing for their recent losses of Robinson, Coveney, Moffat, Mark Hughes, plus the huge number of players they lost before the season started, it's been a massive effort by the Bulldogs to make the cut. Gary Hughes' shoulder injury has forced his withdrawal from the side. His place is taken by the youngest of the Mortimer brothers, Chris, who now joins his better-known elders, Steve and Peter, in a half 5/8 centre combination, enormously important to the club's success. Mark Hughes, injured against Manly, is replaced at lock by Steve Folkes. Although the Canterbury side is well below full strength, such as the good club morale, I'm convinced they'll give a very good account of themselves today. Well, Western Suburbs had a good hit out against North Sydney last Sunday, and the side as selected is about what most Magpie fans would want. Captain Tommy Rodonicus is back at lock, still with a suspect hand injury. However, these big match situations are made to order for Tom. Young half Alan Neil, Rodonicus' understudy for 3 years, has won selection with a series of top performances. He may well keep Rodonicus in the forwards, time will tell. For the present, the Magpies must remember, while they've come up with a very strong team for this critical match, Canterbury did beat them both times during this year's competition. Coach Roy Masters will be well aware of this statistic. John Gorahee leading out the Western Suburbs side, coming out on his own. I think that's for 100 first-grade games, and this is the full side. Wayne Smith, Don Mosley, Mark Bevan, John Gorahee, Warren Boland, Peter Walsh, Alan Neil, Tom Rodonicus, Les Boyd, Bob Cooper, John Donnelly, Ray Brown, Bruce Gibbs, Coach Roy Masters. It's blue and white streamers, the Canterbury colours, Australia, and Canterbury captain George Paponis brings out the Bulldogs. Stan Cutler, Chris Anderson, Greg Brenton, Peter Mortimer, Steve Guerin, Chris Mortimer, Steve Mortimer, Stephen Folkes, Peter Casillas, Graham Hughes, Peter Smith, George Paponis, Greg Cook, and the coach Ted Blossom. The referee, Mr. Greg Hartley. Underway, sudden death. Canterbury attacking the northern end of the ground. Smith allows the ball to go dead. Restart from the quarter line. Western Suburbs in their black and white uniform in possession. Gibbs. Already some pretty heavy stuff going in there from number 8, Stephen Folkes. Neil. Donnelly on the burst, up the middle of the ruck. Penalty. A little bit of an altercation there. Donnelly getting together with, well, I think it was Greg Cook. And Paponis being spoken to. The penalty goes to Western Suburbs. Swinging arm. The breeze apparently blowing almost across field from the eastern side, Barry Ross.
Yes, that's right, Rex. It's not greatly different to yesterday, isn't it?
Yes, it was down the ground behind the southern end, blowing very, very hard. Today, apparently across field, so it'll be blowing towards the members' stand side. Bruce Gibbs on the burst there. Little Neil. The Rodonicus replacement. Rodonicus with that heavily strapped hand will be playing lock, but a bit wider in the rucks. Walsh, 5 metres short of the halfway line. Gorahee drives that one deep. It's rolling end over end over end over end and goes within 5 feet of the sideline, but there, Guerin. Good evasion and drops the ball. Bless my soul. Did magnificently on his feet to beat Mosley, and then got into the clear and just dropped it. There's another penalty, loose arm against Brown in the set scrum, and the penalty to Canterbury-Bankstown. Very good kicker. Left footer. Paponis.
Steve Mortimer. Casillas could have unloaded there. Took the tackle. 10 metres from the quarter. This fellow runs and knows how to go straight for the line. Let me tell you, Greg Cook, good young player. Paponis, Chris Mortimer. A swarm of black and white defenders hit him. Paponis. Steve Mortimer with that acceleration. He's nearly through. Oh, bless my soul. Only 10 metres out and they had him by the jersey only. Canterbury on the boil. Graham Hughes. Oh, they wrap him up well. That's good defence from the lock forward. Tommy Rodonicus. Paponis. Well, Brown could have been penalised for offside there, I think. That kick's gone high in the air. It's in the end goal. Wayne Smith will take it and takes it well. Under a lot of pressure. Our usual award today, the man that we judge to be the best footballer on view, will receive $400 and appear on Sports Action next week. And then be in line with all the other very talented players we've had for the magnificent end-of-the-year prize. There's a scrum penalty. It's against Steve Mortimer for failing to retire. Dorohey, the score of 145 points so far this year, 6 tries and 63 goals and a field goal. First attempted scoring by either side. Struck it nicely. Looks the goods. It is. First blood for the Magpies. They lead 2 points to 0. Cutler restarts. The ball on the bounce to Peter Walsh. Brown and dummy half there again, about 12 metres outside west quarter. Boyd taking a power of pulling down. Rodonicus cuts out a man. Gibbs got it away to Cooper. Nice pass. Good tackle. Brentwell with a siding, diving tackle. Took him knee high and dropped him like a log. Brown. Canterbury backs up so quick he had to take the tackle there. Intercept on if he'd passed it on the outside. Rodonicus, run around to Neil. Smith, fullback. On the halfway line. 2-0, Westloo. Dorohey again, the kick coming into play. Looks a good one. Oh, yes. Such an easy, such a simple way to make 18, 20 metres. Dorohey, the man who played 100 games for his club last week and was honoured by allowing to lead the side out today. 3-2, the scrums West favour. There's a ball that's gone anywhere. Who's got it? Western Suburbs. Neil was very quick round. Boyd with a mighty big forearm in the face of a Canterbury defender there. Inside the quarter, Rodonicus takes the ball up, flying in number 8. Neil, nicely to Cooper. Hard hit round the knees and high. Dorohey through the dummy and went the blind side on his own. They're only about 11 metres away. And there's a penalty. Now, there's a case in point. Referee Hartley pointed at Greg Cook and said, "You're offside," and he made no effort to retire. There may be others that he was penalising, but that he pointed specifically at Cook then and said, "You're offside in that ruck," and pointed to him and said, more or less saying, "Come back." So there's 2 points that Canterbury can't really complain about. Dorohey from 10 metres and a couple of feet. Out almost directly in front, if there's such a thing as a simple kick. This is it. Sweet and true. Another 2. West 4, Canterbury 0. No incidents of any description in this game. The one swinging arm tackle by a Canterbury player in the opening, well, 40, 50 seconds. Played in a bright and breezy fashion. Scrum into Western Suburbs. Neil. Got that priceless asset of just a little bit more than usual pace off the mark. Rodonigus. Brown. Hughes high. Smith low. Gibbs. Cooper. Bad pass, intercepted by Brittle. Brittle's got a bit of pace. He won't go on with the try. Gearan trying to get up beside him. He has to go back in field. About 15 metres out now for West line. West's players very slow to get back on side. Some of them still coming back. Steve Mortimer. Chris Mortimer. Casillas leaves it behind. Dorothy's got it. He's going to go. He's caught from behind. And well, they did get a hand to his jumper there. That was a desperate thing. He could have run the length. Boyd to Gibbs. Offside, I thought, Canterbury, and that ruck. Neil, Rodonigus, Wayne Smith, the fullback. 5 metres short of halfway. Golden opportunity by Canterbury then to do something, and the pass went astray. Gibbs on the inside, Donnelly rather, on the inside from Rodonigus. Brown breaks the tackle. Threw the pass and pulled it back, I thought. Almost out of his hands. Rodonigus. Walsh, bad pass, bounces. Boland takes it on the bounce. Back inside. It goes nicely to Mark Bevan. He uses his pace and tackled as he took the ball, and that's the 6. That was Walsh who was collected almost as the ball came. He was knocked. Scrums are 5-3 Westway. The penalties are 3-2 Westway. Score is 4-0 Westway. Steve Mortimer to feed. Another scrum went to Brown. Ball didn't appear to go well into that scrum. Cooper. Up in the quarter again. Canterbury under pressure. Well, there you are, another classic example of the rule which says the players from both sides will be back 5 yards in the ruck. Donnelly was within about a yard when he took the ball of the man that was passing it to him from dummy half. Rodonigus. Cooper. Unloaded, intercepted. Nicely too by Peter Mortimer, but he's well collected. Now Canterbury should make something of this and get a bit more territory out of it. They've had a couple of golden chances. Slow to regroup. Not getting that passing game of theirs going at this stage. Smith. Canterbury can usually be relied on to keep the ball well and truly alive. Cook back inside to Anderson. Lovely diagonal run. He's up over halfway. Great run from the Australian winger. Steve Mortimer. Oh, good work there by Casillas. Pass gone astray. Boyd comes up with it. Still going. Unloaded nicely to Neil. Neil's on the move. Cutler could be wrong-footed, but there's plenty of defence, and he's lost the ball. Canterbury come up with it through Folks, who was there to assist Cutler in that tackle. Neil down, injured at the moment. Brettle runs from dummy half. 10 metres from the halfway line. 13 minutes to half-time. 4-0 the score. Player injured, can't play it. Looks a little bit like the Battle of Balaclava out there at the moment.
It's Greg Brentnell for Canterbury and Alan Neal for West.
Section of the good crowd here at the SCG for this sudden death encounter. Loser, kaput. Winner, lives to fight another day. Canterbury. Cook. One of the young lions of rugby league. Penalty against Western Suburbs inside the 5. Now what do they do? Take a kick for goal. It's a long way up. Brown's the man being spoken to. They'll kick for touch. And Brentnell not being asked to kick because of his recent indisposition. Mortimer's kick is a very good one. Up to the quarter line. Now, can they need a score of some description before half-time, if for no other reason psychologically. He's lost the ball. Smith had lost it backwards. Now, to Casillas. Number 9. Paponis. Cook on the surge. Paponis again. Steve Mortimer. Oh, that could have been shepherding. Peter Mortimer breaks the tackle, gets it to Anderson, comes back inside. He's had a top game into Brentnell. Brentnell to Cutler. Cutler evades 1, 2, 3. He's only about 5 metres away, but they've got it to Anderson. And Anderson's in for the try. What a top try. Magic ball movement. Gets a pat on the rump for being a good boy. And that's the place to score them, right under the post. See it. Paponis with a quick switch of play from the open to the blind. I thought there was a suggestion of a shepherd there, but the referee says no. Dorahy's tackle was evaded. Back came Anderson infield, then to Brentnell, now to Cutler. This is where the incision was made. Sidestepped Boyd nicely, called for the pass, and Anderson, who'd backed up magnificently on the inside, goes in underneath the post. That's a good one from head on. This is the point at which Cutler wrong-footed Les Boyd, and there was tackled well, but drawn Wayne Smith, and Anderson was put into a gap. And they're not real pleased about it. Gearan's first attempted goal. Is successful. So then, with 9.5 minutes to half-time, Canterbury have hit the front for the first time. They lead 5 points to 4. Around wicket area. Paponis from dummy half. Made a good little inroad, covered up there. There's a move coming on. Greg Cook surging on the burst up the middle there. Having a fine game. Paponis to Smith. Well, Gibbs had his arm cocked as if he was going to throw a stiff arm there, but it only came waist high. And they're all right if they go there. Chris Mortimer back inside to brother Peter. Now, what are the Canterbury tactics on the 6? Last tackle coming up. Graham Hughes. Beautiful pass has gone straight to Folks. Folks has got a man on the outside to Anderson. To Gearan. Gearan's tackled and only about a metre short. Clever stuff from Graham Hughes. Lovely pass. And that looked a try all up there for a moment, but good defence. Canterbury have certainly come back with a great burst. 6 minutes to half-time, 5-4 the score. Canterbury leader, trying a goal to 2 penalty goals. It's a penalty to Canterbury. Incorrect feed by Neil. I think you'll find if this keeps up that Neil, I think, has been penalised 3 times in scrum feeds from my recollection, and maybe we'll see Rodonicus feeding the scrums. Gearan 10 metres in from the sideline and 2 metres inside the west quarter. Results of the earlier games: reserve grade, Canterbury in a magnificent performance, 35, Penrith 5, under 23, Souths 14, Penrith 5. Always away to the right, well struck, but it's going to go dead. West a little bit slow to react to that ball. It was there to be caught in the in-goal area. Now they've got to kick it off and give it back to the opposition. Dorahy with a drop kick that's of pretty decent proportion, about 48 metres. Cutler. Still going. Scrums have gone well and surely in Western Suburbs way, 6-3. That's quite a whacking for George Paponis. And let's have a look at these errors. And at this point in time, West have created 9, Canterbury 6. Smith, Canterbury starting to put a bit of continuity into their football now, keeping the ball alive better. Graham Hughes, the kick over the top, he's found a gap, depends on the bounce. Oh! Play on, says the referee. Bit of desperate work there from Mosley to get to that on the first bounce. O'Donicus. Well, by no means of the Western Suburbs forwards, as a lot of people thought, asserted their dominance in this game, and O'Donicus yelling out there at them. Donnelly. Gibbs, unloaded nicely. Wayne Smith back inside to Neil. Oh, and heavily thrown, almost like a steer from Cutler. Quite legitimate. Walsh, Brown, unloaded well to Boyd. Boyd's got support on the outside. Now it might come. Cooper's gone back the other way, gives it to Walsh. Walsh weaves his way forward, 10 metres inside the Canterbury half. Well, he's gone the way that very few people are out that side, but there's a penalty anyway come from it. That pass should have come this way. There was only 2 players on the Western Suburbs far side of the ruck. Offside against Canterbury, so Dorahy will attempt his 3rd goal. He's been successful in the previous 2. Breeze across and slightly assisting. Hits the upright, rebounds into the field of play. Who's got it? Could be a try. Cooper's gone up for it. Play on, says the referee. It'll be a penalty if they don't get out of the way. He's crawled a yard along the ground. Rodonicus. Brown. Anderson appeared in midfield there to effect that tackle. Rodonicus goes from dummy half, looking for a score before half-time. He'll have to do it smartly. They've got about, well, under a minute, we think. Gibbs, good defence, taking him low, the big men. It's the way, 10 metres out. Dorahy at dummy half, switches it back to Ray Brown. There's the hooter in the background, and that's the end of play. So West don't get the use of the ball for the last couple of tackles. The score at half-time is 5-4 in Canterbury-Bankstown's favour. They're back with all the action, the second half, in just a moment. Current score, Canterbury by the odd point, 5-4. They've scored a try and kicked a goal. Western Suburbs have kicked 2 penalty goals, Dorahy specifically. Canterbury now running from left to right in the blue and white uniform, in possession. Western Suburbs, black and white. No changes on either side. Barry Ross has been in the dressing rooms. The instructions were. There's Steve Mortimer, just a half break. Sorry, Barry, to cut you off. The instructions were.
Well, Western Suburbs are very concerned about their attack. There's just none of it, and probably we'll see a lot of planned moves in the next 40 minutes. And Roy Masters compares this game to the one against Manly, which meant the side, so much to the side 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then in that they came out in the second half and put on a lot of moves to score a big win. Canterbury, meanwhile, Ted Goss has spent a lot of time discussing the importance of the first 5 minutes of this half, and we'll see a lot of kicking also. They'll use the wind like Doré did in the first half to go down towards the new stand.
Scrums are 7-3, West's favour. That's a pretty big defeat for opponents. There's another one, and Neil tripped over the feet of the forwards there as he picked it up. Rodonicus. A little bit more construction needed than that. Walsh. Take a few rucks to settle each other down, or settle themselves down to Western Suburbs. Gibbs switches. The player obviously wanted to give it back the way he'd come. Did finally get a pass away to Neil. And Neil makes the break and, or makes the ground. Now to Rodonicus. He's thrown the dummy and made a scampering little run up to within 10 metres of the Canterbury goal line. Close to the post. Dorahy. Little kick. It's gone too far. Over the dead ball line. The breeze assisted in the pushing of that ball a little bit wider than he intended.
No comment to that.
Pass got away rather sloppily to opponents, but they picked it up off the ground. Outside Canterbury's quarter, 10 metres. And the kicking tactics. It's Chris Mortimer driving it a long way downfield. Good tactics. Oh, that was a bit ambitious from Mosley, but he didn't knock it on. And loaded to Wayne Smith. He's been tackled. Well and truly. Mark Bevan picked off nicely. Canterbury up very quick in defence. Dorohee. Bowen. West just look a little bit sluggish to me. Do you get that impression down there, Barry?
Yes, they're not putting anything together at all at this stage. And again, that's what Roy Masters did say at half-time. He was...
Well, look at them at the moment. They're all in one bunch. You could put an Indian blanket over about 9 of them. Neil. Cooper. Not a spread. A little bit of width in their attack. Neil cuts out a man with a pass. That's gone forward, I thought. The referee didn't, but that was the last tackle anyway. Good defence by Canterbury, containing West well and truly. With all this possession, West 8 scrums to 3. They've not done a thing. There's a clean heel. Neil. Again, 9-3 the scrums. Incredible statistic. Gibbs went for cover then. Somebody wanted to pass over the top, so he fell to the ground. Rodonicus. Back inside to Dorohee. And then he hit it straight for the ground there. They picked him up and put him down. Clay Brown. Well, that pass looked a bit marginal. Boyd spun out of a tackle. Nicely to Neil. Neil spins out of one. He had a man on support on the inside. Walsh, but I think Graham Hughes would have picked him off pretty smartly. Rodonicus. Out the pass goes. A long one. Wayne Smith. There's a bad pass with Dorohee. He picked it up beautifully. Got a pass away to Bevan. Bevan's over the halfway. Unloaded it nicely to Mosley, but he's left it behind. Mosley down on his knees now, I suspect, praying. Oh, disappointed man there. There was something on there. If he'd taken that one, I'll tell you. Canterbury won the scrum. Out along the three-quarter line it comes. Peter Mortimer. Nicely back inside to Chris Mortimer. He gets into the quarter. He's the biggest of the Mortimers. Cutler from dummy half, the fullback. Makes another 5 metres. Canterbury now really got West backs to the wall. Steve Mortimer. Smith. Peter Smith coming hard on the burst, but knocked sideways by the tackle of Cooper. Steve Mortimer. Turn it back inside to Greg Cook. Evades one tackle, still going. Western Suburbs now in a little bit of disarray. Papona special coming up. Is there a long floating pass? Half volley. Oh, God, baby days. Have a look at that. Oh, will you ever see a pass half volleyed like that? And they're going absolutely haywire, the footballers and the crowd. The long pass from Mortimer. Look at this. Well, Gearan. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. The full stretch dive, and out he goes close to the post. And you don't get them any more spectacular than that. Now, Steve Gearan in an attempt to convert his own try, almost from the sideline. And what a superb try. He's pushed it wide, but he's done all that flesh and blood can do, scoring the try in the first place. 8 points to 4. Western Suburbs favour. The penalties are 5 all. Coming up to the halfway mark in the second half, about 18 minutes gone. West the one on scrum. Bevan's left it behind. Smith has it. Chris Mortimer was the man. Papona swivels out of one tackle, straight ahead. West making so many errors at the moment. Steve Mortimer. Folks. Up to the quarter line. Canterbury calling for the ball on the open side now. Cook, Graham Hughes shows the dummy, or throws the dummy, goes straight ahead. Can't get a pass away. Just inside the quarter. Greg Cook, one-handed, nicely to Cutler. Cutler tackled by Boyd around the boots. He was tripped by Boyd, an offside position then, but the referee says play on as Canterbury had the ball, but it's the 6 now. Let's have a look at this error count. Western Suburbs 16, and there's a very significant statistic today. Canterbury 9. They just keep giving the ball back to the opposition. So Canterbury are offsetting this scrum deficit as Neil gets penalised, I think, for the 4th time for an incorrect feed. And Gearan will have the opportunity. All the highlights of this match and discussion will be on the sports section show next Sunday. Gearan struck it beautifully. It's successful. This is going to be very hard from now for Western Suburbs. 10 points to 4. They've got to score twice. 10-4 now in Canterbury's favour. Kubo went up well and took that. That's as good as the scrum win. Buddy Kane was there to assist. Now West have got to put their act together and hold the ball for some period. Donnelly not standing deep enough, not getting himself on the move. Neil, Gibbs, unloaded well to Brown, one of the few players really making forward progress for West. Rodonicus, Boyd, Walsh on the quarter. The defence converges. Now again, I look at West and they're all in a bunch there. Wayne Smith not spreading at all. Doherty got a pass away to Rodonicus. He loses the ball, but it goes to a West player. Neil away to Boyd and back into the ruck he goes. They're not spreading at all. Just all in a bunch. Very easy pickings. Neil with a little kick through. Could be a penalty. Yes, it is. Let's see it again. Now Neil goes from dummy half. Watch the little grubber kick. And he's impeded on the way through, and I think that's quite the right decision to make on that occasion. His forward progress was stopped. Doherty from directly in front. And that reduces the deficit back to the point where they could get themselves into a lead with a try and a goal. So that's a lot different to a 6-point deficit. You'll probably see Canterbury going for some field goals in the latter stages with 15 minutes to go. Canterbury scrum. Steve Mortimer. Oh, so close. Boyd broke quickly from the scrum and just managed to catch him. On the blind side they come. Cook, Cutler, inside to Anderson, back into Cook. Steve Mortimer. Chris Mortimer on the quarter line. Walsh could well have saved a try with that tackle. Graham Hughes through the dummy. Threw the ball back straight to the opposition. Smith has it. Doherty's got it with a little bit of room. Doherty unloads to Kane. Kane puts it over the sideline. Oh, Masters will be having epilepsy down there in the sideline, I would think. He's seen 2 passes go astray. One Mosley dropped and one his replacement Kane has dropped, which I'm not suggesting would have led to tries, but would certainly have taken play well downfield. Barry Ross.
Yes, well, Roy's jumped up and down 2 or 3 times talking to officials and so on here. There is an urgency in his tone at the moment, and he just can't seem to find a solution.
Canterbury come up with another scrum win. They're closing up this deficit. Right, my director drew us to my attention, and I should have seen it, that Rodonicus is feeding the scrums for West now. Bill Smith, a good inroad, straight through the West ruck, up to the quarter line.
It's another West replacement, prop forward Brian Cook coming out.
Well, Greg Cook's just taken the tackle, so he'll have a namesake out there on opposite sides shortly. Steve Mortimer. Pass to Anderson on the swerve back inside, coming back in diagonally. Much more involved player is Chris Anderson this year than he has been heretofore. Steve Mortimer. Got a pass away, it's gone astray. It has to be a double knock on. Yep. And now here's Cook coming on. What's his Christian name, Barry?
Brian Cook.
And his age is?
He's only about 22, 23.
Well, Donnelly's off. Another scrum win, and Canterbury really starting to put Western Suburbs on the rack. Bretnell only about 3 metres away, perhaps 5. Steve Mortimer, a long floating pass, straight to head it went. Graham Hughes, I think, was the man that came on the end of that pass. Mortimer. Out it goes. Peter Mortimer. Peter Mortimer! Yes! That's a try! A jinking, sidestepping, swerving, dummying run of about 17 metres. Some crisp, smart passing. Look at this passing. Mortimer, a long lateral pass. Chris Mortimer fed it out to his brother Peter. Dummied at that point. Back he comes. Weaving, swerving, stepping. Hard fend there to get round Boyd. Boyd sticks to him like glue, but he's too close to the line. And that's it. We're into the last 5 minutes now, and Wests are gone for 79. 13 points to 6. And there's the head-on shot. No suggestion of a bounce ball there. Gearin with his 5th attempted goal. There it is, 15 points to 6. And a ball game that's always been in their control. Canterbury have had, right from the outset, a better attitude, much more involved. They've created less errors by many, many than Western Suburbs. We'll give you all those statistics in a minute. Well, they won't give up, Western Suburbs. They're a gutsy team. They'll fight it out, but it's over. Let's have a look at the error count now. You'll see it's a massive 22 errors to Western Suburbs, and not such a bad one to Canterbury 13. They've kept their errors to a minimum. Gibbs, the swinging arm there that the defender came underneath, but I don't think Canterbury would worry whether West pulled out hammers at the moment. There's an old saying in rugby league, the winners can laugh and the losers can do their best. Roy Masters, the face of a man who's seen a side fall pretty well in a heap today. And again, the referee says the try scorers for this Canterbury side have been Anderson, Mortimer, Gearin. Gearin has been responsible for 3 goals from 5 attempts. As West come up with another ball, Rodonicus back to Smith. To the West side, it's easy. Dorohey has kicked 3 goals from 5 attempts. The scrums have gone massively West way, 13 to 8. Penalties have been 6-5. Canterbury-Bankstown. Crowd really setting up a roar now. There's a knock on to Rodonicus. Boyd down injured at the moment. We've got a touch judge on.
He'll probably speak to both Graham Hughes and Les Boyd. Well, I was
was reading statistics at the time. There's the incident that you can see again. Boyd and Hughes. He deserves congratulations, Ted Glossop. He's come up with Capone is starting to lay down the law a little bit. There's a few little things happening in the scrums there at the dying stage of this match. Dorohee kicks for touch from that penalty. 15 points to 6. Canterbury in a shock upset. Boyd. Bowen. Tommy Rodonicus. 5 metres out. There's some consolation if West can score a try, but they really haven't looked like one. And that's the reason. That's the reason. 24 errors they've created on a dry day with not so much wind. There's an eruption of this scrum. It's senseless at this late stage. Copping a little bit in there, is he? I suggest Canterbury can cop anything that West can throw at them at the moment in the way of tough stuff. They've won the game. Who cares?
Well, Ted Glossop was sent out with the trainer 2 or 3 times in the last 5 minutes or so. No, stupid. Play, just calm it and win the game.
Dorohee, well tackled, 8 metres out. Time must be just about up. The replacement, Cook. Brian Cook. Brown. Switches the play back. Welsh lobs a long one. The intercept, that's a try under the post. This is going to rub it in, but Cutler's going to sprint away at a run of about 78 metres and score a most spectacular try. And there it is, under the post. Look at the scoreline. Canterbury 18-6, and see it again. This is the way it came. The switch of play. West have tried it and has not come up at all. Walsh with a long floater, and Cutler, like an absolute hawk, swooped onto it, and with that long striding, not very high knee action gait of his, scampered away at a highly spectacular run. Not a Western Suburbs player in sight until he dived over the line. From head on, and watch Cutler. Boom! In he goes, and away he goes. Well, Buddy Kane, to his credit, has chased hard, but there was no way he was going to stop him. 18-6, 20-6 coming up.
That try was a record try for Stan Cutler. It's an all-time record for fullbacks in a season, 12.
For Canterbury, you mean?
Yes, the Canterbury club record.
I was going to say Gary Dowling, be glad to hear that. He scored 13.
Well, he held the previous record, I believe, the club record.
So there it is, 20 points to 6 and a well-beaten side. Western Suburbs march up to shake hands. Rodonicus, the first man up to the Canterbury skipper, George Paponis. And that really is a shock.